actually, I want to get to the straight questions because like so many podcasts, so many vlogs are talking about like, yeah, how we can make it like popular in social media. But like, can you get some advices for people on how to get from a 0 to 10K followers to 100K followers, and maybe to 1 million followers? Are there like strategies or tips that you can give?
Yeah, so I think first of all, it's becoming more and more difficult to grow your following on Instagram. So people on Instagram have a very short attention span. Let's say if if they come across your content and it's not great, they will just keep scrolling because they're swimming in the sea of content, right? So first of all, you really have to have a great product. And whatever it is, it can be, in our case, we're talking about music, right? So your music must be really, really good. And then, it's not enough. Just having a good product is not enough. Instagram is very visual, so your content has to stand out. There's no short answer to this question. On top of having a great product and great content, you need to see, you need to be able to connect with people and, create establish a connection with people that you've never met. They don't know you personally, it's a lot of work and it has to be genuine. Even with all of that, with the new Instagram algorithm, you will most likely have to invest in some IG promo because, the way the algorithm works, it only shows your content to about 5 to 10% of your followers when you post. And if you need to push it further, you have to invest some money, and run a promo.
Yeah, because most of people doesn't know that because they think that all their followers will see that post, but that actually doesn't work that way.
Yeah, it does not, unfortunately. So reaching 10 to 20,000 followers is the most difficult part. And I can, probably have a separate discussion on that, and it will probably take a few hours. But
we have our time.
It's very individual. But I would say, just talking about the structure of your following, there's a first layer of followers. It's your family, your friends, people that you've worked with, people that you've met in real life. So that's super easy. They're gonna keep following you, they're gonna support you just because they know you personally. You have that real connection with them. And then the second layer is usually it's a few thousand followers, and it's people that most likely it's going to be other artists, aspiring artists, producers, or just music fans that love to discover new music. It's a specific category of people because someone who likes mainstream might not really follow you because they're like, oh, who are you? There are like so many of artists like you. So I would target those people, other artists, other producers, because they can recognize your talent, as opposed to someone who just listens to mainstream music and like, oh yeah, that's like, I like the vibe, but like that's a cool summer song. So after you get a few thousands of those, and those people, if they follow you, if you are able to establish a real connection with them, they will become your core fan base. They will be like, in 10 years from now, they will be telling people like, hey, like I discovered this artist when she or he were nobody, and I've been supporting them. Yeah. So you need to make them feel like they're involved in your process. You really need to like ask their opinion and don't act like a superstar. Like be humble, be down to earth, talk to people, reply to DMs, reply to comments, like have separate conversations with them. You never know. Those people will really push your content. They will share your content if the connection is genuine. And after that, let's say, at this point you have a few thousands of followers, then you can start targeting more of a general audience because, okay, people now see that, oh, you have a little bit of followers and you have good music and you have good content. So now, okay, I'll give you an example. I'm working with an artist and she's a singer. She has an amazing voice, but she also loves fashion. So she's always dressed really cool. So at this point, I don't care. I can target people that like fashion, you know. And some people will follow her for her music, and some for, you know, some fashion and cool photos. That's fine. At this point, I need a number. And when I have a bigger number of followers, it's much easier. It's a mental thing, much easier
Yeah.
for other people to follow. And once you hit 20, about 20,000, it's much faster. So then you can get to 100. There's no difference for me, you know, 20,000 and 100,000. It can take a few months to get from 20 to 100,000. And to a million, of course, that's from 100 to a million. You can assume that that person most likely has to be on tour and have a lot of press and, you know, have a buzz going about that artist, because,
Yeah.
you know, having a million of followers, realistically, it has to be a superstar.
Absolutely, because I saw so many profiles with the millions, but when I see the engagement, it will be like 1,000 likes. So it doesn't make much sense because I think there are mostly bots there.
Yeah.
Because people like to have a big number, but when I always say what I always say to artists, like bots doesn't listen to your music and they don't go to your shows, because that's absolutely like waste of your money to buy bots because you want to have a big number of followers.
Yeah, and realistically, we all know, you know, after working with a bunch of artists for a few years, I know how many followers artists usually have at a specific stage of their career. So let's say it's a newish artist who's been around for 5 years, has a couple of artists, has been touring, you know, having small tours here and there, and he's got 50,000 followers. That's realistic. Otherwise, if someone that maybe has one song or two songs, one music video, never been on tour, no press, has a million followers, then I'm suspicious.